In this episode of Hope in Motion, field worker Raj Varma seeks out children in need in some of the most remote regions of India. On one of these trips, he encounters a man struggling with a tragic past.
I lost both my parents when I was small. At that time, my uncle was taking care of me. He sold me to people who were into human sacrifice, as a sacrifice for the harvest time.
When Rohini returns home for a visit, she teaches her father what she's learned at school.
Yes, I used to go there and tell my father about God. Whenever I say, he used to tell, I know about him, but he never prays to God. So I teach him how to pray in Telugu, and he learned, and he started believing in God, and now he became a pastor, and he was working there in our village as a pastor.
And the blueprints for the new campus of Sunrise Children's Home finally come to life.
Now when I saw the happiness of the children, I also felt very happy, and even I also need some refreshment to come out and play with the children and see the happiness of the children.
India is a land full of contrast. It's a land of great mystery and beauty. It's a land of unspeakable despair. But traveling through India, one thing is for sure. It's a land filled with people who should never be underestimated. For the last 40 years, Asian Aid has invested in the futures of people who have never been given such a chance, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the vision of Helen Eager, dedicated to helping those who have the least, Asian Aid is an organization implementing diverse development projects and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from Bangladesh to Nepal, Sri Lanka, and beyond, from remote villages and empty fields to sprawling centers of education, from nothing to the unimaginable. Now, Asian Aid decided to document the work it has been doing all these years with a desire to show the world what is possible by digging wells in remote villages for clean drinking water and bringing much-needed health care to the women of Nepal, by providing an education for orphans, deaf, and blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But what we really discovered was being given was hope, giving hope to children, giving hope to women, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
The Eastern Ghats of India is a discontinuous range of mountains running along the east coast. Many tribes of indigenous people with ancient cultures and customs inhabit this region of the country. The people here survive off the land, hunting and gathering in the forest. There is very little infrastructure in the way of roads, education, and health systems. As a result, when a child loses one or both of their parents, their ability to survive becomes the responsibility of the village. In a place where resources are limited, many children and adults are malnourished and often die from preventable diseases. Founded by Lalitha and Raj Varma, Sunrise Children's Home has been serving children in need from these tribal regions since 2001.
The Asian Aid organization main aim is to provide better education for poor and needy children, especially for tribals, orphans, blind, deaf and dumb, and different children. In this area, I am a field officer. Then I came to know through the government that many tribal children are suffering without parents. Most of the parents are dying with bad habits like alcoholic and other bad habits. most of the children are becoming orphans. The government recommended me to go to the tribal village and survey.
Raj Varma has been visiting these tribal villages as a field worker for Asian Aid for several years now. During one of these visits, he met with the elders of the Pamulu Gisada village and told them about the work Asian Aid was doing at Sunrise Home. He asked the elders if there were any children in need in their village.
And at that time, my husband, he went there and he saw the children's condition. Some of the children, their condition is pathetic. So at that time, he came and told me about the condition of the children. Then I told him to bring. So he went and brought the children. And when I saw the children, I was so scared to see because of the malnutrition, because they don't have enough of food, enough of calories like that. Their stomach was big and the hands and the legs are very small, thin.
I met this gentleman and he told his story, how that girl was suffering without a mother.
నా పేరు నిమ్మక నాగేశ్వరరావు సారు.
My name is Nimaka Nageshwar Rao, and I am from Pamulu Gisada village. One day, Mr. Varma from Sunrise Home came to my village and asked if there were any orphan children so he could take them to the orphanage. And I explained my story.
At the age of 6, Nageshwar's daughter came to live at the Sunrise Home in Bobli. At the time, no one knew just how much this meant to Mr. Rao and the impact this would eventually have on the family and their village.
చిన్న వయసులోన ఉండే సమయంలో నా
I lost both my parents when I was small. At that time, my uncle was taking care of me.
Nageshwar Rao was actually born in another tribal village 5 miles from Pamulu Gisada. Having lost both his parents, he was left in the care of an uncle who was an alcoholic, known for going to extremes just to lay hands on a bottle of locally brewed liquor.
ఏం
He
చేశారంటే
sold me to people who were into human sacrifice as a sacrifice for the harvest time.
In that village, there was a human sacrifice, and they used to sacrifice every evening and morning, one after one. Like that, turn came to my father, and they told that tomorrow evening or morning your son has to sacrifice.
మరి నాకు పడదొరికారట ఏదో ఒక
So the people took me away from the village. They tied me up with a stone on my neck in the forest and hid me there.
Realizing the boy was missing, some of the villagers forced the uncle to confess to his whereabouts.
చెప్తే వాళ్ళు గ్రామస్తులందరూ
So all the people searched the forest and found me there. They found me tied up with this big stone. Finally, they rescued me and brought me to the village.
Worried about the boy's long-term safety, his grandfather stepped in and took Nageshwar someplace far away. In this mountainous region of the country, there are no roads or vehicles, just walking trails through the thick forest. The grandfather took the boy to the village of Pamulu Gisada. There, a couple heard about his story and decided to adopt him.
అని ఎంత కష్టపడి బాధపడి
They didn't have children, so they adopted me. When I was 18 years old, my adopted parents also died.
He was orphaned for the second time in his life. The people in the village did their best to take care of him, and he became a day laborer doing odd jobs and heavy labor to earn a living. The elders in the village married him off to a local girl, and soon they had a child. But shortly thereafter, she left him.
After my wife left me and my daughter, I struggled a lot. I couldn't take care of my daughter because I was just a simple coolie. Because of this, the villagers arranged a marriage with another girl, but my troubles worsened. My second wife didn't like my daughter, and my daughter didn't like my second wife. I was crushed in between.
Raj Varma brought Nageshwar a glimmer of hope when he offered to care for his daughter and give her an education. No one could have anticipated how the girl's new life there would also change the life of her father and their village.
At her 6 years old, she is happy to come and study in Sunrise Home.
ride's here. I love you. Have a good day at school. Bye. Bye.
See you tonight. Give my love to Mina.
I will.
You can make a big difference every morning.
Sponsor a child with Asian Aid.
When I first came to India, now around 32 years ago, there were two things that really struck me. The first one was the need for food and clothing and accommodation for children living way below the poverty line. The second thing was the amazing potential that these boys and girls have to make a difference in the world. And the only thing missing was the need for people like you to help. With sponsorship, you can make a difference in the life of a child every day.
Nageshwar Rao is a day laborer living in the remote mountain village of Pamulu Gisara. As a boy, he endured several lifetimes of tragedies after he was sold as a human sacrifice and was orphaned twice by the time he was 18. His struggles continued into his adulthood after his first wife left him with a child to support on his meager salary.
Because of this, the villagers arranged a marriage with another girl, but my troubles worsened. My second wife didn't like my daughter, and my daughter didn't like my second wife. I was crushed in between.
Rohini came to Sunrise Home when she was 6 years old. Then she comes from tribal community where there is no facilities, road facilities, electric facilities or doctors. So at that time she was 6 years old and no one is there to take care of.
Rohini Nimaka has been at Sunrise Home for the past 8 years and is now 14 years old. An 8th grade student at the nearby SDA school. She's at the top of her class.
Rohini is a nice student here. I think she already got first rank in our first unit. And she is one of the intelligent girl among all students. Why? Because means from law. I think so many our teachers are there. They are also told about her. In all subjects, she got good marks. So like that, she's a first rank in this class.
Once in a while, Rohini is able to go back to her village in Pamulu Gisara. It was on one of these visits several years ago that she started to share with her father what she was learning in school.
Yes, I used to go there and tell my father about God. Whenever I say, he used to tell, I know about him, but he never prays to God. So I teach him how to pray in Telugu and he learned and he started believing in God.
Previously, we were all idol worshippers, but now I go door to door and tell them about Jesus and pray with them. Now most of them are Christians, and we started worshiping in our houses. Later on, God provided a nice church for us.
And now he became a pastor and he was working there in our village as a pastor.
I am the pastor of this church. I've been pastoring this church for 9 years. I have nearly 60 members here, and we have worship every Saturday.
A few hours inland from Pamulugisada, Sunrise Home is in the small town of Boboli. While the town center may be a hustle and bustle of business transactions and shoppers, not far beyond are the beautiful rolling hills and rice fields that are the signature of this part of the country. With over 80 boys and girls packed into a single house, Sunrise Children's Home is ready to make the move from the town of Boboli to its peaceful and spacious countryside.
Well, we started this progress last year, and every time I come here there have been changes. Buildings are starting to be completed and the progress is great.
When I was first invited to accept the position as director, I was told about the Sunrise project. It was a privilege to actually come here and see what is happening, and to go to the existing Sunrise home and see the children in that very cramped and crowded place, and then come out here and see what they'll be coming to. Unfortunately, we cannot accept, well, we cannot help everyone that asks us, but certainly this is going to allow us to take in more children than we would have been able to back in the old home.
Once in a while we bring children here to get relaxed, because every day they'll go to school and they'll study, they do their duties. But today is a precious day for them to relax for some time, and they have a lot of place to play here, lot of place to dance and jump. And when they saw the rooms, inside the rooms, when they saw, they felt very happy and they started dancing and they started jumping.
Today when I heard Mummy told that we are going to Canada, I felt happy because for a long time I did not see this home, and when I entered the campus I was very happy, and first of all I went to study hall room. It's a big room and I felt very happy.
My name is Jesdas. I had passed 12th grade and now I'm planning to join nursing this year. So before leaving this place, I'm very happy to come here to look around my new home, and really I was very happy because since for the past few years we stayed a congested place, and now it is very free. We can play freely, and nice bathrooms are there and free rooms. So I like it so much.
This project wouldn't have been possible without the sponsors. At every stage we've had a need for various buildings, various needs, and the sponsors have come to the party. The Lord has really blessed us, and I just want to thank the sponsors. And for those of you that have contributed to this project, shortly the children will be moving in. You've made a big difference.
With the help of Asian Aid sponsors, Sunrise Children's Home has been changing the lives of children in need like Rohini for the past 11 years. Looking back, Rohini is thankful for the day Raj Varma came to her village.
Whenever I saw the pictures, I used to thank God, because if I did not come here means I will be somewhere in the tribal area and I will be different. I thank God for bringing me here. by God's grace, I brought here, and now I'm like this.
Looking forward, Rohini now has a means to fulfill her dreams.
My favorite subject is mathematics, and when I grow up, I want to become an engineer.
Every year, millions of kids in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh are unable to attend school, and they're forced to live their lives in poverty instead of reaching their potential. In the Scriptures, Jesus reminds us, whatever you do for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you do for me. Today, there are so many kids in need of sponsors to provide them with food, clothing, and shelter. With sponsorship through Asian Aid, you have the ability to provide these basic necessities to the least of these. Won't you consider sponsorship with Asian Aid? You too can make a big difference every day in the life of a child.